I'm Anthony Vultaggio with The Outer Watch. I'm here at Christ Cathedral in Garden Grove, California with Sister Bernadette, the famous Sister Bernadette of the San Antonio Spurs fame. So actually, Sister, we've known each other before. You went viral, but we have this opportunity now to kind of explain a little bit of your story. Everyone's seen you blessing the players and getting all the cheers from the crowd, but let's get to know Sister Bernadette a little bit. How about that?
Okay, sounds great.
So this is your area, California, right?
Yes.
Southern California.
So born and raised in Lakewood, Long Beach, California. And yeah, my whole life was up in this area until I was about 21 years old. And I actually worked some also in the Orange area. I worked for the city of Los Alamitos.
Wow.
I coached at La Salle High School.
Just a regular person?
Regular person, graduated from Cal State Long Beach, and regular person doing regular things.
Yeah.
But it was really campus ministry throughout college that really helped my conversion more so. I went through Catholic elementary school and Catholic high school and was a good kid, but I was not really passionate about the faith growing up. It's just what you did. Go to church because mom and dad say so. And I never was opposed to any of it, but it wasn't so much in my heart.
Yeah.
So going through college and meeting a lot of really good friends and through campus ministry and young adult ministry.
But were you doing the ministry or were
I was
you just
a
in
participant.
it? Yeah.
Yes. And then later on, I was doing some of the ministry as well.
Wow. So it's always that, right? It's always some person or some group of people that end up impacting you in your spiritual life.
Yes.
And that
very
happened.
much.
And now you're doing that for others. So when did you know it was a calling, or was it slow, or was it all of a sudden?
It was both all of a sudden, but slow too. So I was a student at Cal State Long Beach, and I went to World Youth Day. And so it was in Canada back in 2002, and I was there amidst 500,000 other young adults in adoration, where I felt really the Lord calling me to something deeper, something that I wasn't prepared for myself. And at that moment, I knew I had to give my whole life to Him, but I was very resistant. And I said, no, thank you. Like I literally kind of told God, like, I love you, but I don't want you. At that time, that's where I was.
Right.
And so, I mean, I look back at it now and say, how bad of me to say that. Yeah, like Lord, please forgive me. But God took me very gradually from there. So after I graduated college, I had a restlessness in my heart, and I said, I need to do something more. So I actually signed up to do a year of missionary work with the Salesian Lay Missions. Because I knew the Salesians. My brother went to St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower. And so we also had Salesian priests that would come to our home parish to celebrate the Mass. And I knew their spirituality and their charism. I did not know they had sisters, nor was I looking, really honestly, to be a sister. I was trying to not think about it. And so I signed up with the Salesians because I thought that would be a good way for me to serve the Lord in His mission, and I wouldn't have to think about discerning religious life. And ironically enough, the Salesians placed me with their sisters to go serve with them. So I ended up placing myself through the intercession of our Blessed Mother, placing myself in a convent to serve and live with the sisters for a year. And that was my first experience to the Salesian Sisters. So yes, we are the Salesian Sisters of St. John Bosco. Our formal title is Daughters of Mary, Help of Christians. So no, we are not the Spurs nuns, though a lot of people call us that, but we pray for and support the Spurs, not because of any other reason than that's like, it's part of our ministry of loving what the young people love so they will love who we love. Ultimately, it's to bring them to Jesus.
And your mother house is in San Antonio.
Our mother house is in San Antonio, and here in Bellflower, California, we have a community there, and then another one in LA. And then we have one sister who's serving now in the Orange Diocese, and we're really hoping to have more sisters really soon.
Well, so now how did sports come into the mix? When was that? High school?
For me, I started playing soccer when I was in 2nd grade. In 4th grade, I started playing basketball. And honestly, it was just because I told my mom and dad that I was tired of waking up early in the morning on Saturdays. So I said, can I play a sport that you don't need to wake up early for? So I played basketball from 4th grade through high school. But when I was in high school, my goal at that time, I said I wanted to become a college basketball coach. That was my career goal. And I said, well, coaching doesn't really pay enough, so I need to teach something. So maybe I'll teach something at a university level and coach college basketball. And that was what I thought I was going to do.
College basketball.
College basketball coaching.
And then you went to the convent, and you said you went to the convent to to serve.
Mhm.
That was where you were going to help and do your volunteer work.
But I grew so much spiritually during that time. So I had somewhat of a foundation in the faith, but it wasn't very deep prior to that. I can honestly say it was more social purposes.
So what was it about the convent? Was it the structure, the discipline? Was it, you know, the quiet periods? Maybe all of it?
The prayer life, seeing the witness of the sisters who were there, the community life. Those were the things that stood out to me more.
Was there one sister you feel really impacted you the most?
Not really,
Wow.
but I would say it was kind of all of them together. It was a community effort. Yeah, like the community just was so welcoming, and they took me where I was. I felt like one of them. Though I wasn't one of them, I was wearing jeans and t-shirts or shorts and, you know, flip-flops.
Yeah.
And so they just took me where I was, and I felt like I belonged with them.
Wow. And then how long after that did you start the process? After
that, I actually came back home to Southern California, and shortly thereafter, I started actually discerning religious life. So then I entered in 2005.
2005? So how long have you been a sister?
So it's a 4-year formation process, minimum of 4 years. And so 16 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, 16 going on 17.
So how did this all happen? I mean, it had to be one moment, right? Was that first praying over the Spurs, that one particular game?
So we actually, a little bit before that, we had received some media attention from the local newspaper and some other entities from some of the media posts that we had done prior, like a couple of weeks prior to that. But then on the 24th of May, which is our feast day of the Salesian Sisters, we were given some free tickets to go to a game. And so we didn't realize that we were kind of like selected to go, and we were going to receive like special treatment before the game, where we got to go courtside prior to the game and be near and watch the warm-ups. And then we were able to be in the tunnel as our players were coming through.
So it was all big a surprise.
It was a surprise to us. Nothing was like really planned on our side. We were just going to the game and drove ourselves there and went to the game, and we didn't know Luke Kornet was going to come up to us before the game and to shake our hands. And when he came up, and he's really big, by the way, he's like twice my size. So when he came up and I said, "Can I give you a blessing?" And so he said,
just
yes.
Just like that. I mean,
I shook his hand and I said, "Can I give you a blessing?" And he's like, "Yes." Because he's so tall. Yeah. And so again, it was the Feast of Mary Help of Christians. It was the Feast of Pentecost. So I just invoked the Holy Spirit upon him and prayed that our Blessed Mother may guide him closer to Jesus. And that was it. Very simple, honest prayer. And that was it.
Lightning struck.
Yeah.
It went viral after
it did.
that.
Yeah. And I think that's what society needs. They need to know that the faith is alive. It can be lived in everyday life, but it needs to be real. Yeah, it needs to be real. It's one thing to say things. It's another thing to actually live it. So we're trying to direct people to Christ, in the Catholic faith, to the sacraments, to help them to understand that whatever we have here in life isn't going with us. We need to live a well life now, because heaven's our home, and that's where our aim is.
So it was unplanned, spontaneous prayer. It goes viral. What was the next day like? All of a sudden, people calling you and telling you that you're going viral? I'm sure you didn't know yourself.
No, I didn't know too much. I knew some, but then I was like, oh, wow, okay. We need to get things in order here.
And so did people call you?
So
I know I did.
We received a lot of calls, a lot of text messages, a lot of media interviews. And so then at that point, then we got to be selective and say, okay, these are the ones we're going to do. I had a great intern working with me at the time, because my full-time person was on vacation, which was already planned from months before. So I just had an intern and myself working in the office at the time. So my intern, who had just started a few weeks prior, was phenomenal. She helped to filter all the calls that were coming through. We looked through the list, and then we would decide, okay, which ones can we do? Which ones are in line with who we are? Because we did have some invitations that I said, not that one. Like I researched them before we do them. Yeah. And some of them we just had to say no to, not because they weren't good, but we just couldn't say yes to everyone. And ultimately, we're not doing this because we want to be famous. Yeah. We want to, it's all about the mission and helping people to grow in the faith, to become saints that they're called to be. So that's our goal.
But then you were walking just in the stadiums, and people were cheering you on.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was crazy.
It really was crazy. And one of the games that we were at, I I left the seating area that we were at because I had to go use the restroom. So I'm walking towards the restroom and I'm thinking to myself, is this real? Or am I like
Yeah, because
in
they're
a
all
dream?
clapping for you,
Like,
right?
yeah, I'm like, I think maybe I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. And no, but it was real. It was very real. And I said, okay, Jesus, wow, you can make wonders happen from all the things growing up. Like I was saying, like growing up, I played basketball. I dreamt of coaching basketball. I dreamt of all this stuff. But then at a certain point, I said, this doesn't mean that much to me anymore. Like, Jesus, I want to give my life to you.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And so, but at the same point, this helped me.
That helped you.
Like, it helped me to be able to talk to people and to say, okay.
To millions of people all over the globe.
Yes.
And then did that affect you at all? Like, were you starting to think maybe, you know, your ego was getting into it, or was starting to impact? No, not at all. No. And why not?
Because
your discipline, your prayer life, your...
Yes, prayer life, community life. At home, I'm who I am. I'm Sister Bernadette. Yeah. Yeah.
And so how did life change after? It sounds like really nothing. You kept doing what you were doing?
Just keep doing what you're doing. Even in San Antonio, it's a little bit harder though, because people recognize us very easily.
Sure.
Actually, in Southern California, it's easier because maybe not as many people, even though it went global and international and national, but in San Antonio, it's a little bit harder because you're very visible over there. It was all over the news there. Here is over the news, but maybe not as much.
Right.
And so I was actually here for some of the time where a lot of the media was going on. And so I didn't have any trouble here for the most part. But if I had been in San Antonio, I probably would have been a bit more. There
was a time when they wanted to give you like limousines or, you know, and you guys actually said no.
Yes.
Give us whatever you would have spent on that so that we can share this with the young people, right?
Yeah, so we had some offers to go to Oklahoma to go cheer the Spurs on in Oklahoma when they were playing against the Thunder. And we said, no, thank you. And so with one of the organizations, we said, but if you wouldn't mind, you want to host a watch party so we could do one with the kids and our families back in our west side of San Antonio, which is a really poor area of town. They were very happy. And the company that did that for us, they were actually there at the watch party with us too. So they were able to see like firsthand the impact that we make.
Well, out in this area, everyone sort of knows St. John Bosco because of the football team and all the sports, and you know, it's a really big school, but a lot of folks don't realize that the Salesian Sisters are attached to it because you don't really have that in the name. And so what can you tell them about the charism of the Salesian Sisters?
So yes, we were founded by St. John Bosco and St. Mary Mazzarello. So ultimately, St. John Bosco knew he needed to do something for the girls too, because he couldn't do that. So he said, I need the Holy Spirit to help me to found the same mission, but for women. And so that St. Mary Mazzarello helped him to create the Salesian Sisters, or the Daughters of Mary, Hope of Christians. We have very much a similar spirituality of bringing the young people to Jesus, but our focus is more on girls and women. And so holiness in everyday life, a deep prayer and spirituality, consecration, and focus on our Blessed Mother. So all of that, bringing people to Jesus, especially for young people.
So how do you do that for young people? Do you go to the schools? Do you?
We do have schools, but it's not just schools, it's education on a broad sense. So here in this diocese, actually, it's through campus ministry that we're focusing on. So campus ministry on the community college level is an area that Bishop said there wasn't much of a presence. So that's where we have one of our sisters focusing right now in that. So it's education in a broad sense, educating the whole person in the faith.
So you guys actually are now looking for a space to call your own
Yes.
here in Orange County so that you can do more work like this,
Yes,
right?
we'd love to send more sisters here, but we do not have a home. So we need the support and help of some generous people out there who would be willing to help us make that a reality.
Yeah, and what would that home do for you? Besides, you're able to bring in more sisters, and then how would that impact the community?
Really, I think, especially in this diocese, there's so much potential for vocations. So that's how it would make an even bigger impact for the church, is because there are young people out there who have vocations to religious life or the priesthood. And so we want to help focus and bring young people to that reality.
Maybe a few that think they're going to play basketball in college and start coaching, that maybe
it might be.
there'd be a calling?
Maybe. We have one of our novices right now who was a collegiate athlete playing volleyball. And so now she's a novice to become a Salesian sister, God willing, next year.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to athletes becoming or joining the religious life because they are attracted to the discipline, right? Like you would in sports.
Yes, there's a great amount of discipline needed in sports as well as in the convent. But obviously it's just a much higher calling.
Well, they call this the summer of the nuns. So have you guys seen an uptick at all of young people being interested?
There is definitely a good number of women who are like expressing interest, but we need them to take that next step and not just express interest, but say, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, and the house can help that. If you had a house here locally,
yes.
you'd have more sisters and you'd be able to
accompany more young people.
Yeah, and that's really it, huh? Well, what do you think's next for you? Just
keep doing what we're doing.
Do you think the Spurs will call you back next year?
Oh, we'll be there.
Well, thank you, sister. It's been a pleasure. And I knew you when, you know, before you were famous. But it's really been a joy, and thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Anthony.